Hello everyone, hi, how are you all? Welcome to my channel, Tarot with Anne-Marie, all about tarot tuition. So how are you all doing? Please say a big hello. And we are doing the Hierophant tonight. So the Hierophant is a difficult card. It's one that people often struggle with, and they really do actually say, oh gosh, I don't know what to do with that. Probably because of its sort of religious sort of looking context in the card, and what does it mean. So hopefully we've got a guest coming on tonight, Zoe, if she is available, that'd be lovely. And do say a big hello. You're very, very welcome. So I'm going to switch scenes. We're going to bring on the Hierophant and we are going to discuss what it all means. But before I do, let me just give you the link in case you would like to actually come on and be a guest and talk about where you're at in your journey with tarot. You're very, very welcome if you are just curious, if you are a seasoned tarot reader and you want to share, or you want to ask, or you're struggling with something, or you've got something that you could share for everybody that you think would really help, because in this journey of ours it's all about trying to find out the best ways that we can actually bring in our tarot readings. So here's the link, and then I'll bring on the Hierophant. So just in case you ever want to join, this is how you do it. And I just took off my jacket because I'm feeling a little bit too warm. So let's get rid of that. Hello, Sherry. Oh, thank you so much for saying hello. It's so lovely to see you. How are you doing? Are you well? I hope so. And I hope that everything's going all right for you, work-wise and home-wise, etc. So Sherry, thank you very, very, very much for saying hi. It's lovely, lovely as always. I hope that I did send an email, Sherry, but I'm not sure if you got it. I'll tell you why. It kind of said that it had not been delivered. So can you let me know? Did you get it? Okay, because I attached a little PDF for you, and I think it might be the PDF that kind of sent things haywire. Hello, passionate Sachi. Hi, how are you doing? Hello, how are you? Good to see you. How lovely. Ah, okay, no problem. And Zoe's not going to be able to make it, but thanks for saying hello, Zoe, and I hope all's going well. I know it's actually really challenging times because Mum's not been very well. You've got a broken arm, and yeah, there's been COVID in the household, so perfectly understandable. No worries at all. Zoe, wishing you and your family really good wishes and a speedy recovery for Mum and for you. And say hi to David, your dad. Okay. Oh, you did? No, that's brilliant. It said it hadn't sent, and then it looked like it had, so I was totally confused. Oh, hi, passionate Saji. So, Sherry, if ever you want to come on, please feel free to do so. And the same goes for you, Sherry. We are more than happy if somebody wants to come on camera, or would just like to actually have an image there and would like to just speak, and not be seen, that's fine. So whatever you're comfortable with, folks. I'm really sorry it's been a real rush today. A very long day reading today, and just caught me out. Okay, so but I'm here and just made it. So, Hierophant, the difficult card. I'm glad that you're well. That's wonderful. Okay, so let's just take that off. The Hierophant. Okay, so this is a very difficult card. Can you believe that I'm being pinged for somebody who wants a reading? not going to happen. I'm here instead. Okay, the Hierophant, difficult card. People actually go, and I'm not really sure what it means. All right, so let's just do a little sort of talk about what's going on in this actual card. We've got a Hierophant sitting there on what looks like a chair or some sort of throne, okay? And it also looks like it's, again, one of those stone or concrete sort of type seats. A little bit cold, a little bit harsh. But our figure is looking as if they are a religious character, and they are wearing a red robe which covers a white shirt, and is shoes that are showing underneath the outfit. And if we look closely, there's a little bit of blue going on there as well. And then if we look down the front of the red robe, we've got it trimmed with white, and we can see 3 crosses. And those 3 crosses represent the Holy Trinity, which is the Father, which is the mind, the Son, which is the body, and the Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit, which represents the Spirit. All is one in God is what this means, and it indicates some very strict beliefs held by the teacher being a Hierophant. And it means that they adhere to the rules, and that they are very, very much about not changing or bending the rules in any sort of way. At the bottom of our figure's white trim on the robe, can you see there's a little, very, very bottom there, just before you see the shoes, there's a tiny little diamond shape, okay? And that tiny little diamond shape is an alchemy symbol, which represents our soul's journey, and that we are seeking enlightenment. Now, underneath this tunic of this gown and robe of red, he is wearing a little bit of blue. You can kind of see that sticking out underneath at the bottom near the white shoes, and a little bit there at the top, as in round the neck, okay? And it drapes to the floor, and that kind of shows that he's grounded, and his connection with his teachings. So it's like, I firmly believe in what I'm talking about, okay? And this is kind of governed by a whole load of beliefs which are delivered from a Hierophant. And with the cross on his shoes, if you can see that, the little white shoes there with the cross, it's showing that he's walking his way of conviction. So he's wearing what looks like a papal hat, and it's got a triple crown on there. And again, this is connected with the Holy Trinity governing his thoughts, okay? And so this red robe that he's wearing is just significant and symbolic of desire and potential and determination. And the white that we can see on the trim around the robe and sort of the sleeves that we can see on him just represents integrity and purity. Now, he is also gesturing, and this is a spiritual blessing. And we see this in other cards. I don't know if anyone actually can think of another card where we actually see this. Sorry, I'm not watching the comments. Good, we don't seem to have any. So yes, this is a papal blessing, but it's also in another card within the actual Rider-Waite sort of deck, or the based Rider-Waite decks. And this action is anointing or blessing the 2 men that are in front of the Hierophant. So our figure looks like a pope, okay? And he is gesturing that this is a blessing to the men in front of him. And the action of this is acting a bit like what we see in the magician, pulling down the energy from heaven down to earth for spiritual energy. Okay, so if we look at the two in front of the Hierophant, our two figures, they look like monks, and one of them's got red roses showing a desire for knowledge, and the other one's wearing white lilies on a blue tunic, which is showing and symbolizing life and rebirth and wanting new starts. So the flowered garments show that they are grounded and open and willing to learn, and that they've invested a lot of time in, following the practice of the Hierophant and his teachings. Okay, so there is this whole thing here in this card where people go, but I don't really practice religious sort of things. Hold on, bear with me. Okay, let's just finish just describing what's going on. All right, so we've got some cross keys at the bottom there. I don't know if you can see. Some say they're both golden, and in some decks you'll find that one's gold and one's silver, and it's just symbolic of the keys of life. Okay, and they bear cross of the 4 elements. Okay, so that's our elements of the air, water and fire and earth. And the triple barred papal cross that he's holding in his hand is significant to represent, again, the Holy Trinity of the Father, the Son and the Holy Ghost. Okay, and his vestments are also said to represent 3 different worlds. Okay, his right hand is the act of giving that blessing, a sign of almost an act of benediction. Okay, and who is the Hierophant? Well, as a person, he is conventional, conservative, and he follows things to the letter. He rarely deviates from his path. And he is somebody that has a deep respect for tradition and structure. And he needs to conform. He needs to be part of something, probably leading and saying, look, I can't do this on my own, I need an organisation. And in this case, if it's the Pope that we're looking at here, or the papal figure, we're getting the fact that he's the one that's doing the leading. And he's the one that's actually kind of preaching here and giving the facts and the rules and the boundaries to the monks. He's also probably making them feel, and this is definitely, you'll find this in different books, that they are not able to connect to the divine, to God, to spirituality without the Hierophant. They need him. Oh gosh, we have to come here to worship because we can't talk to God. We can't talk to God without our Hierophant or our Pope or our priest. This is what this is about. I need you. And I can't do this on my own, and I'm following everything you say, and I know that these rules that I have to adhere to them. And it's one of those things where we've got to actually look at the fact that we do need in our lives to have something that's beyond us. We need conformity, we need institution, we need beliefs, whether they're religious or traditional. We need teachings, we need governments, we need local authorities, rules that we must follow. Okay, so it's a feeling of conformity. All right. Has anybody got any questions? Because it really is quite a tricky old card, and I've kind of gone through, the symbology of it. But let's do a little bit about the meanings. And so, first of all, the Hierophant is connected with the astrological sign of Taurus, okay? And Taurus is all about finance, okay? And matters of contracts. I'll come to that in a minute. Keys to life, which I talked about, that sit right down at his feet, and conforming. There's also a little bit of hypocrisy here. Okay, again, I'll talk to you about that. And morals and ethics, codes, teachings, red tape, things of traditional matters and official matters. Definitely the kind of thing where we need to follow rules. Okay, so things like governments, universities, schools, there are rules. You know, you can't join unless you've done this exam and you can prove yourself and you can do that. If you want to be part of our religious organisation, perhaps there is a rite of passage. You know, maybe there are things like you need to be baptised, you need to be christened, you need to go through ceremony, you need, you know, and so on. So there are things of, no, you have to do this. You know, it's like you can't have Holy Communion in the Catholic Church unless you've been to confession, made your first confession, should I say, and then made your first Holy Communion to follow that. And so, you know, there are rules. You can't just walk up and go, I'd really like that, please, because you're not part of that organisation following their traditional beliefs and rules. And it's very comforting to be part of something. But that's the traditional religious sort of aspect. What about the fact that it's like governments and things like that? Well, yeah, look at it as red tape. You know, this could even be the taxman, really. You know, because it's like, well, you have to pay your taxes because we won't survive unless people make their contributions. It's passports. You know, I'm applying for a passport and they will say yes or no to you. You know, will they give me a visa? Yes or no? This is where you'd look when people say, oh gosh, you know, I really want this job and will I be all right? Well, I'd look for the Hierophant and see who is in charge, such as HR, and what sort of contract. Hierophant, contracts. I'm going to give you a contract. You know, here's the red tape. You must sit down, stand up, take 2 weeks off, be here Monday to Friday. You must not work remotely, or you must work remotely, or you must inform us if you're coming in because, you know, after the world shut down and everybody had to rethink how we all work due to COVID, etc., you know, they kind of changed the rules. That's a Hierophant, okay? And the Hierophant is also teachers. Don't just think it's a religious figure like the Pope or a bishop or a priest. It could be imam, it could be a rabbi, it could be a teacher, it could be your tutor, it could be the person that decides whether or not they're going to allow you to take the entry exam. It could be your driving examiner. You know, they've got the powers of red tape to give you that piece of paper that's universally accepted within your nation to say, yes, you are allowed to drive in this country or that country. It's the red tape. Okay, it's also linked to finance. So banks and institutions and financial institutions, sorry, I've got the dog's teeth in. I have been speaking on a call today for a very long time and I've been on for about 6 hours. So I'm really sorry, I'm going to take a sip of coffee and I'm just going to read a message. Do you, passionate Saji? She's saying she always gets this card when people are asking about jobs and interviews. It's precisely what it's all about. So, you know, if somebody was saying to you, oh gosh, you know, what do you think? You know, the people that were interviewing me, do you think they'll offer me a contract? Well, I'd be looking to see what's going on with this. And as you know, he's a big old spread. I use all of the 22 major arcana cards in my advanced spread. I always use the advanced spread, even if somebody's ringing up and I do I think it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes call, can't remember now, it's on the website, sorry, because it's like, you know, they put it in the basket and it comes through to me, you know, here we are you available for a call, boom, so whatever it is. So again, the Hierophant, you know, that's the actual system and the gubbins that goes on my website that takes the finances, that actually says, this is a contract that you would like to have a reading, and that's the agreed time and price, and this is our transaction financially, and it's contract agreed. You know, nobody's forcing that person. If they don't like it or want it, they'll just pass it by. So it's that, but it's boundaries, it's contracts, it's finances, it's teachers, it's tutors, it's professors, it's lecturers, it's examiners, somebody that is going to actually, you know, perhaps the board that people sort of, you know, when it's like school sort of board, yeah, those kind of things, you know, I forget what they're called, somebody remind me what it's called, the Board of Governors, is it? You know, been a while since I went to school. I don't have any children, so sorry. But, you know, it's those kind of panels, people that have got the authority to say, you're in, or off you go, not for us. So they can say yes or no to you. And it is about interviews and jobs, yes. So please don't fear that it's just something that you ought to kind of, you know, get rid of because in your deck, because you don't understand it. And I know the temptation to want to actually pull something out of a deck and actually go, I don't really want to use that card because I don't know what to say about it, you know. Also, I just want to go back to his shoes. There's a cross on his shoes. And that just kind of says that he's grounded and that he will walk the path of his conviction. Now, I said to you, there's a kind of hypocritical feel to this card. Okay. For those of you in the UK, I just want you to picture, if you will, or remember, there was a program called Keeping Up Appearances. The title tells you everything. And in that was a character called Hierophant. And I'm sorry for people that don't know this program, as in they were outside of the UK or never saw it, too young or whatever. But it was all about her actually wanting to be seen, to be doing everything perfectly, correctly. You know, oh, do come and look at my fine china. Do actually look at how good I am. Do look at the fact that I'm Lady Bountiful. You're poorly. I'm here am I. Can you see how I'm looking after you? Can everybody see that? Look, I made this, you know, and here I am, and, you know, there's a fate, and I want everybody to know that I made that, and I did that, and I'm responsible for that, and I'm a good person. So, you know, it's very much a case of kind of, can you see that I'm trying to be a good person and that you need me and that I'm part of this? And it doesn't mean I'm better than, it just means I'm keeping up. I'm keeping up. I'm not slacking. I did my bit, you know, yeah. And again, it's a bit like people saying, you know, yes, I went to the church and, you know, I said I'm really sorry for everything that I should have done better this week, or, you know, that forgive me for my sins, whatever it is, bless me. And they probably come out and kind of go, you know, that's what I did. And then they might just be really mean to someone that they know, or really harsh, you know, oh, I didn't see you at church, you know, bit judgmental, bit sort of, why? You know, this kind of thing. Why weren't you there? You know, what was the matter? You know, it's a bit like that. And sometimes it's about keeping up with the Joneses. You know, it's a bit like, here am I, I'm doing this, what are you doing? And, I'm not sure I approve of that, but you approve of me, don't you? So there can be a feeling of hypocrisy. I would also say, if this card comes up in a reading and it's about the person and they're asking about a job, shall we say, that honestly, this would be where I would look, you know, how's it going to go for them? And what's the card next to it? You know, is it a positive card? You know that I use this method of pairs, and that I always combine cards, and I always use a certain spread. I'll never deviate from that. And as I said, whether you have 10 minutes or 5 hours with me, you will get the same spread. It's very different if somebody is actually doing something of a yes or no question, which is quite hard with tarot, but not impossible, and you need to know what you're looking for. But again, if you combine cards and you're using pairs, you know, say you've got the Hierophant, you've got another card there that's actually negative, it's kind of might be saying, well, you know, it's a struggle right now, or your communication wasn't good. The Hierophant, by the way, I also look, it's a great card of communication, and that's just a personal thing for me. I always feel that clear communication, somebody that probably will give you the facts, you know, they'll probably say to you, right, you know what, it's Monday, and on Monday, this is what I eat. And I never deviate from that. And you know what? On Tuesday, I always do X. And you know, that's my routine. So it can be somebody that's very traditional. It can be somebody that's very grounded. It can be somebody that is a stickler for rules. And, oh no, I don't want that. I couldn't possibly, you know, that's my day for, you know, egg and chips, or, you know, spaghetti bolognese. I couldn't possibly have chicken. Don't ask me to. It's somebody that finds it very hard to, that's just a for example, but somebody that finds it can be a bit stubborn, that can feel that it works for them, and why are you trying to mess with it? You know, don't bend the rules. What's wrong with you? You know, don't you know it's this? You know, it's a bit like they might turn around and go, is everything all right? And the person says, actually, no, it's not. And, you know, this person is going, I don't understand why. You know, you're fed, you're watered, you've got shelter, you know, I'm talking to you. What's the matter with you? They're just very grounded, very earthy, can appear to actually be a bit set in their ways, and not understand beyond that, because the facts are there. You know, you've been fed, and you know, I've done everything. I've looked at everything. You know, didn't you see? I've done everything. So why? What's the matter with you? So that can be the energy of the Hierophant, a stickler. You know, finding it very, very difficult to break free from rules, and wanting to actually follow the path of tradition, obligations, and yeah, passionate Saji. I don't know if I actually brought that on. She's saying yes, more about hierarchy. Absolutely. And so the Hierophant can mean that we actually need organisations beyond ourselves. So it might be a case of, let's say it's a charity, and you can't do it all. So you turn around and you try and sort of get a committee, or an organisation, a group, where you've all got this thing in mind, but it's got to be organised, it's got to be grounded, it's got to be official, it's got to be that maybe there's minutes taken, you know, that might need a bank account, you know, can you see what I mean? It's about making it official. It's also a good one when it comes up with some of the cups or court cards, and we'll be doing combinations of the Hierophant next Tuesday, the 19th of December, showing you how to read this card with combined cards. And the combined cards are always minor cards being used with the card that I'm teaching on Thursdays. So our card this week is the Hierophant, so I'll be showing you how other minor cards can change what the Hierophant's about, and whether it's about finance, or whether it's about work, or whether it's about relationships. In relationships, it would mean that this is somebody that's very traditional, somebody that's very loyal, somebody that's going to kind of grit their teeth, grin and bear it, and go, well, I signed up for this, and you know what, I'm here come what may, you know, bit like the contract of marriage. Don't always feel that this is a church or a religious sort of ceremony, you can actually have verbal contracts of marriage or written. Wouldn't say it's an engagement. It wouldn't say that to me. Contract, verbal contract, it would need to be that. But it can often come up, as in with relationship cards, which would tell you that for marriage, but you would need both. You can't just say, oh, I've got the Ten of Cups, you know, that's it. It means this, it means that. You've got to look at the position of where it is in the spread, who, what, where, when, how, yeah, what's crossing it, what's the influences, what's third parties, what's the obstacles that they are being challenged with, them as a person, as themselves, you know, physically, them intellectually, them emotionally, spiritually, financially, work, daily routine, all of that's in the actual positions of the spread that I use. So if this lands in like the 7th house, which would definitely be about relationships, not just that of a romantic kind, but if it was with cups and they were asking about somebody, you know, you would look to see if it's favourable with the other cups, you know, is it good cups, you know, or that kind of, oh, I can't be bothered, you know, I don't feel anything, you know, I don't care if it's this or that. You can get that, okay, or you could get, I put my heart and soul into it. This is what I want. And also, what will they do? Not what do they just feel. You've got to look for that. And so, yeah, this is a method that I can help you with. But most definitely, a Hierophant is, I do understand, a card that is full of confusion, possibly because, you know, it makes us think, gosh, it's religious, isn't it? I think that back then, when the deck was probably being created, it was very symbolic of rules and regulations and traditions. And I think that we have so many, many more, like I mentioned, hospitals, universities, governments, councils, all these kind of things. Hello, Yasmin, how are you doing? Hi, how are you? Welcome. Hope you are, well, I hope you're enjoying this, as in, tell us, do you read tarot, you know? Are you interested? Are you a reader? Or are you beginning your journey? So come and say hi. We've got the passionate Saji here, who is absolutely lovely. And we've got Sherry, our lovely Sherry. And I think that Zoe's kind of maybe listening or watching. Oh, Carla Kendall, sorry, I don't know if I said hi to you. How are you, Carla? Are you all right? Good to see you. Sorry about that. I kind of jumped right in with that and the lovely Sherry. Okay, so a lot of things that are going on in the Hierophant that I understand can make a reader kind of freeze or want to skip over the card or take it out the deck altogether. I've had people go, take that one out, don't want to know. I can understand that, but, you know, eventually, you know, you get your confidence. Also, nice to think of someone. I tried to give you Hyacinth Bouquet, who was just a little bit sort of like, you know, bit of a bossy boots, trying to sort of show everybody that, you know, her ways were, don't you approve of me? You know, don't you think I'm a good person? That kind of thing. But it can also be somebody that just is so stubborn that they you can't move them, you know. Oh, no, I can't go out after 6 o'clock at night. I won't, absolutely not. And they can almost be, you know, aggressive with you. You don't ask me again, sort of thing. It's like, okay. So that's kind of like, you know, if it comes up as a person, that's what it would be. Contracts, of course, marriage contracts, verbal or religious or spiritual or, you know, even official registrars, things like that, yeah. Legal, you'd have to look at the other cards, but I think that anything of an official nature mustn't be confused with legal, okay? But it can be that a contract, you know, you could look and go, oh, it's a legal binding agreement. Yes, it probably is in certain contexts, but, you know, just know it's a contract, perhaps written, email, hard copy, sometimes verbal. Okay, I've even seen this come up, believe it or not, in a reading many years ago. As in, so I'm not discussing somebody's reading recently, where somebody broke an engagement, so they broke the contract, and she said to me, "I'm a bit worried. He's very cross, you know, that I've broken this contract." And she said, "What do you see?" And we looked at her, and yeah, in that contract was so important to this individual who was full of tradition, etc., that quite simply he sued for breach of contract. So, you know, I'm not saying that in a thrilling way, but yeah, there are consequences to breaking contracts. You know, you could break your contract at work. I didn't do this, and so then HR could be involved. Then, you know, you could be up before the board. You know, people saying, "We can't have this. You know, you can't do that." That's the Hierophant. So, any questions? Anybody? Nope, not for now. Okay, you are shy. Okay, or are you intently listening? Let me know. Okay, I'm lonely here. I thought Zoe was coming along, but not to worry. Okay, I'm just going to show you a little PDF, different one. Okay, each week I try and show you a little bit of what I offer on the website. So have a look at this one. Before I do, I'm just going to, this one. Okay, so I popped this on the website yesterday because I've updated it. 2024 a tarot journal, so you can have one of those. Look, that's kind of what it looks like. And so what you can do is you can print it out, and of course, although there's sort of, I hope that's not too loud. Okay, you can print it out and you can go through and make notes. But obviously you can add extra pages, you know, so you just need to if you've got a lot to say on the Emperors, just print out loads on the Emperors. I must actually at some point show you my tarot journal. Well, I can't. I can show you the one that I did when there's the Hierophant, sorry. You know, so I've done these cards here, date and all the rest. You can fill it in, and then it kind of goes on and on and on. I've done them all. And you've even got each individual card, like aces and twos, and you see? And that goes from right through swords, cups, wands, pentacles. Okay, it's changing on its own. Try that again. It's probably because I clicked it and it just kind of went off. Right, so yeah. That's a tarot journal. My journal was just an exercise book. It's very, very old, yellow pages, but it was some of the notes that I took in a course that I did over, 3 to 5 years. I can't quite remember. I did beginners, intermediate, advanced, then I did psychic development, then I did mediumship, Reiki, chakras, I Ching, Feng Shui. So I've got lots and lots and lots, and didn't realise I was keeping what we'd now call a tarot journal. So I kind of wish I was able to have kind of gone, there's my 3 of Cups. I just need to write down the bullet points of what our teacher's saying, what the other students are contributing, and what they've got to say on the matter. And you know, the students that used to be in a class were sometimes your best teachers, because they were thinking in ways that I wasn't. They were thinking in ways that made me go, crikey, never thought of that. You know, yeah, there's a scenario. Yeah, how would you? What does that? And, you know, you've got your own questions, but that's where it's really helpful, where you are actually inspired. And also, you know, you get to kind of have repetition where someone would say, I'm really, really stuck with a certain card. Can we go over it again? Or can you sort of tell me how to connect and how to tune into my psychic ability, or how to how to stop it coming at me when I don't want it, when it's not appropriate. You know, I'm at work and here I am, I'm being bombarded with this sort of, you know, image that I feel is a message for somebody. We were trained in all of that. So yeah, I used to keep all sorts of journals, but there's no way I could show you, because yesterday I was kind of trying to find some notes just to put on my Tarot Talk Facebook group, and I was looking for something, and then I realised that there's 3 huge drawers of file after file after file, and I don't tell you how much is on my computer. So I've got a lot of things that I've collated, and it can be really useful. And you know what? I used to join an awful lot of different things that all helped. It all came together. And the more, just keep going. You know, Anne said last week, just keep going. She'd advise everybody and anybody to just keep at it. So even if you feel it's a responsibility or you're getting it wrong, you know, you can say to people, look, I'm really not sure. You know, also the right books, the more you read, the more you listen to, the more you watch, the easier it is. And the right deck, you know, there's some beautiful decks. I'm going to show you some in a minute, some images of the Hierophant from different decks in a minute before I leave you. And please do ask any questions. I'm more than happy. I'll presume that we can move on. Right, I'm hoping that this changes scene. Hold on. Sometimes it's a little slow. Here I am. Right, I want to show you this. That is my new amethyst, and I am told that this is EJ around it. The energy from it is absolutely beautiful, you know, and I just thought I'd show you that. Got that at a Christmas fair. Sorry, my studio lights are probably shining on that in a certain way, but I just thought I'd show you that. It's lovely, and I've got lots of amethyst. I think you've probably seen this one before. There's another amethyst, lots of little clusters. Amethyst is great for psychic development and your third eye, and helping you just get the purity of the information through, you know, your third eye, and helping you connect. I would highly recommend it. This actually had this year's. I think we got that in Scotland. I think so. This one, Christmas market, and I just thought, yes, please. And there's a nice clear quartz. Quartz to actually amplify. Okay, I'll be making some shorts, as in on YouTube, as in I just needed time to kind of get this Tuesday and Thursday thing. It takes a lot of preparation. I don't just turn up and go, here we are. Right, bear with me. Okay, right. So, different Hierophants, all very different. Different from the one I showed you. Okay, so here's the Hierophant from the Urban Tarot. Yeah, the Urban Tarot. And that just shows an image of, you know, a priest, and there's a white dove representing purity, peace. There's a cross there, and then you've got a glass of water, as in, just so you don't think that's a bit odd, that's the amethyst there, isn't it? Let's bring it there so you can see it. That represents the balance between the spiritual and the life that we are living on the earth plane. So the balance between walking as a human and trying to connect, as in with our belief system spiritually, and having to do our daily lives and be part of this world that we're living in and not to kind of mix the two up. So very different image. And yeah, there you've got, you know, the staff that a Pope, it was shown, same here, okay. But it again, it's giving you that kind of religious-y sort of type feel to it. But it's absolutely lovely. This is a great deck. Some brilliant ideas, but it might be really hard if it's your first sort of deck. Might really work for you. You know, it depends who you are, but if you are struggling, just have a look at different decks, see what you think. Rider-Waite will definitely help you because of the symbology that's in the cards consistently, and so you can go, I can see that, it's got that, it's got that, it's got that. Whereas some of them you wouldn't see it at all. Okay, a bit like, you know, here, look at that. Okay, this is the Housewife's Tarot, but why this? Anybody? Does anybody know? Oh, Passionate Sagittarius saying it's beautiful. I think she's talking about my lovely crystal. Thank you very much. I think so too. I'm very passionate about my crystals. I do actually really work with them a lot. They're everywhere. And as I said, I'll be doing some shorts in the new year. Okay, so do look out for those. By the way, if anyone ever wants to watch the shorts every week, I do actually do a video for, if it's your birthday this week, which is specifically for people who are quite simply, it's their birthday and it's a reading for them. And it's that week. And so it's like at the moment Sagittarius. So do look out for that. So why this? Quite simply because sometimes we actually need to listen to the news that we're being fed from our community, from the collective, and we're hearing messages, but also maybe good or bad, might not. You know, might be hearing all the good that they want us to know and all the bad that they want us to know. So it could be, you know, there's a darkness there and there's a lightness there, if you like. You know, we're being fed what they want us to know, rather than just us and us believing it, you know, perhaps. I'm not saying it's not, but what I'm saying is we're fed and we go, oh, right, you know, that's gospel. I heard it on the radio. I heard it. It's an old-fashioned image. It's like 1950s sort of housewife deck. It's wonderful. But it can make you think, as in, okay, we've been preached to. Am I getting everything? Remember I said, go back to the Hierophant, you know, the belief is, oh, you need me to actually talk to God. That is part of what that card's sort of traditional meaning was about. And yes, sometimes we do need that, but sometimes we need to work out, actually I could do that on my own. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. That's the point, okay? So I think that's rather lovely. This is a deck that I created 2006. I got it printed. I had a website, and my friend who was a lawyer advised me at the time, why don't you do your own deck, you know? So I did it as in for the graphic images, because, you know, I wanted it to look good on the computer, not too detailed, because you can lose the detail as in when it comes up on your website. And so I worked with an artist and a graphic designer, and then came up with that deck. So I thought I'd show you our simple sort of having a go at the Hierophant. That's many, many years ago. All right, I love this one. A Hierophant here. Look, this is a different faith. Wonderful. You know, and look at all the symbols. Different faiths. There we are. As our teacher, as our leader, as our, you know, community, hanging on every word. Beautiful image, you know, wisdom, you know, and then teaching us how to do it, teaching us as a group how to work together, and then, you know, teaching us the rules and regulations of life. Very, very different, and lovely, lovely deck. Gorgeous size for small hands. If you've got small hands, I love that. Beautiful, beautiful deck, as in very freeing. you know, the path to enlightenment, you know, connecting there, all this here, but quite hard to actually just start off with that, would be for me. And you can see, look, yeah, getting that coming up, as in, same here, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. This one, these two are from the same people, I think 2005, these. The Baba Prague by Alex Yuklov and Karen Mahoney. And this one is a fantastic menagerie tarot. And there we have, you know, it's all about animals. I absolutely loved it. There's different animals in different scenes, and here it is. It looks like, you know, he's preaching and they're listening. Okay, what have we got to do? And it kind of looks as if they've all got their vestments on, as if, you know, they're listening to what's going on. But it almost looks as if, you know, preaching from the pulpit, and they're taking it all on board here. It almost looks as if it's almost like a court of law, doesn't it? You know, see what you want. You know, whatever's right for you. This one again, you know, very similar to this, and this is the Romantic Tarot, and this again is the Hierophant, going, you know, and studying. I would say this one makes me feel it's much more of a Jewish faith. This is more Christian or Catholic, Christian, whatever. And this is more like the government's preaching to you. This one, it's more the rabbi, again, more the church. And this one makes me think of, you know, different faiths, such as the imam, and being able to actually study the details. So we've all got our different faiths, we've all got our different religions, and they've all got their own rules as to what they believe in. So they're studying, you know, and beautiful. You know, wisdom, books, knowledge, reading from here, reading from the Bible here. He's got books in the background here. Here's our actual gesture. This one, you know, path to enlightenment, as in very happy image. But I find that quite difficult just to get from that. So I love it. But I think that I'd miss a lot if I was just working with that deck and that card came up. Yes, I know its meanings, but if it was the first time is what I'm referring to, okay, I wouldn't be able to kind of go like that if I was relying on the symbology or the colours or things like that. I absolutely love it. One of my absolute favourite decks, and I wouldn't have things that I don't like. But I can understand that sometimes certain decks speak to you. I wouldn't do a full reading with this. I think it's great. I think it's a very broad, quick, key point message. But likewise, you know, it's what works for you. This one again, beautiful. What's going on here? Very much based on what I showed you, as in earlier on. And I hope that it helps you. If you ever want to show us, you know, what you use, by all means, remember you can come on as a guest or comment or let us know. So, thank you for listening. I've stayed a bit longer than I should have. Even for me, this was a difficult one to put together for you. And of all days, I was incredibly busy. I would have liked to have actually gone through my notes, because when you teach something, to write it's one thing, you've got a little bit of time, you know, and yes, I've done the courses, but I also read for people, and they don't want all of those facts and all of this. So it's really nice for me to actually kind of put it all together and share it with you and answer any questions that you may have regarding this. I'm going to go because I'm being pinged yet again by a client. No rest for the wicked, and it's getting very late here. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on Tuesday, when what we'll do is we'll be still using the Hierophant, but we will use the Hierophant and show you minor card and using a pair and combining the cards, how that can change the meaning and maybe help you go, which one is it out of what I know the Hierophant to be that applies to that question, to that person, to that situation. And hopefully by showing you some other cards, you'll be able to see why. You'll be able to connect it differently. My voice is going, I'm really sorry. I wish you well, have a beautiful sort of week and a happy weekend, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Until then, bye bye for now.